Hello friends, this is Jim with Science Talk. I have a story that is very troubling, but this information needs to be shared. Japanese whalers killed 122 pregnant whales and 114 calves last summer. Japanese research vessels harpooned, killed, necropsied 333 Antarctic minke whales during an annual hunt last summer. And as I mentioned, 122 of those whales were pregnant. And then there were the 114 calves or immature whales. The expedition is supposedly mounted for scientific research purposes. And according to the report released by the International Whaling Commission, researchers set out to acquire data on the age, size, and stomach content of minke whales in the South Ocean between Australia and Antarctica. This involves shooting the whales with grenade-tipped harpoons, which only causes instantaneous death 50 to 80% of the time. So the animals are suffering. They then haul the slain whales right aboard the research vessels and start cutting them apart right there on site. The researchers justify this method, saying that they need age information that can only be obtained from internal earplugs, and therefore lethal sampling has to take place. Now, yes, looking at the internal earplugs can give you a specific age information. It can give you the exact age determination. But there are other ways to estimate the age of the individuals. It may not be precise, but you can gain an idea of the population dynamics. You know, you look if you know something about the growth rate, and if you can get a measurement onto the size of the animal, you can get an idea, an estimate, but at least will give you an idea of the age of that individual. Now here's the other thing that's troubling, as though this isn't troubling enough. Japan claims that these whale harvesting, euphemism for killing, is purely scientific, but yet they allow the whale flesh to be sold in markets and restaurants. Japan plans to revive its commercial whaling industry. Now, putting aside whatever the ethics of this are, whale population planet-wide are in distress. Take, for example, humpback whales. There used to be over 100,000 worldwide. Now they're down to about 13,000 or so. Blue whales used to be over 200,000, down to about 7,000. You know, a lot of the big baleen whales, minke, finback, sei whales, they're in trouble. And so we really should not be killing them. We should be protecting them and letting their numbers increase. I haven't even talked about the bowhead whales or the right whales. They're practically on the brink of extinction. And all this information I just shared with you comes from a report in the Sydney Morning Herald. The other thing that's troubling is that many of the whales appear to have been killed in an Australian whale sanctuary. So now we're having issues of violations of territorial waters and stuff like that. I am no legal person or policy wonk in that sense. You know what the political and legal ramifications of that are. That's up to the governments to sort that out. But that is troubling that they appear to be going into sovereign waters of another nation. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Japan plans to kill an additional 4,000 whales over the next 12 years. This is, as I said, this is very troubling. And really, pressure should be brought for them to stop this. So, going back, I just want to briefly mention this, talking about the earplugs to age the animal. This is a similar thing in fisheries. If you want to get accurate age determination of a fish, you examine what's called the otoliths, which are internal in the skull. And that means, of course, killing the fish. There are other ways to age a fish. And you can basically pluck a few scales. It's not going to harm the fish. Pluck a few scales and you look at the annual rings. And you get an idea of the age of the fish, especially if the fish has ctenoid or cycloid scales. A little harder with fish to have placoid or ganoid scales, but it's, there are other non-lethal ways to determine the age of the animals. Also, with the statistical methods at our disposal, you don't need to be killing 330 some odd individuals every year. You can get, if you really had to do this, which I don't think they do, but if you really had to do this, they can get a good idea of the information from killing basically an order of magnitude less individuals, 30 to 40 individuals. Because there's a statistical theory that a sample size of N being at least 30 is sufficient to give you some idea of what the normal distribution might be. So they don't need to be killing this many animals. So I wanted to bring this to your attention, and thank you for your time. Hey folks, just a reminder to please subscribe and click the bell so you know when I drop a video. Please share my videos. Please tell others of my channel and of the work that I do. I also hope that you will consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Science Talk with Jim Massa, where from time to time I upload videos there exclusively for my patron subscribers. Details in the description box below. Thanks.